Good morning and happy Monday. You are looking live over Perry at the fairgrounds. The time is now 6:30 on this August 29th. I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm Wanye Reese. It's really hard to believe that this month of August went by so quickly, Caitlin.
I know September starts this month, which means fall is just one step closer. So I don't think a lot of complaints are coming from people, Alex.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. The cooler weather, it's got to come one way or another, and the change of a month means we are getting closer to it. Let's take a live look at Perry this morning. You can see the sun beginning to come up in the distance. I think we've got a fantastic sunrise in store here over the next 30 minutes to an hour. 72 in Macon, 72 in Warner Robins, 72 where we're looking live in Perry right now. We've got 71 in Roberta, 73 in Jeffersonville, 74 in Irwinton, and 73 in Dublin right now. 71 in Butler and 72 to get the morning started. Down in Rochelle, down to the south, specifically in Eastman, we are seeing some fog issues. Visibility down below a mile. We also had that in Butler earlier, but the visibility has since come up. We could see one or two more spots of fog form here through the morning hours. Did see a few showers as well down parts of Telfair, Wheeler, Montgomery counties, also over into Wilcox County. Otherwise dry across central Georgia and dry across the majority of the southeast this morning. Look for a high temperature right around 88 today. A 30% chance of showers and storms with passing clouds across the area. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk about what to expect for today and into the week ahead. Upper 80s and low 90s, and of course that all-important Artemis I launch forecast just a few minutes away. Speaking of Artemis I, it is certainly an exciting time for the final frontier. The countdown is on this morning for the planned launch of the most powerful rocket in NASA history, Artemis I. You're taking a live look at Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where the launch should happen in just a matter of hours. The over 300-foot rocket will power a crew capsule with 3 test mannequins to a distant lunar orbit, reaching 40,000 miles beyond the moon. 42 days later, it will splash down in the Pacific Ocean west of San Diego. If this unmanned test flight goes well, astronauts could return to lunar orbit as soon as 2024 with a moon landing following. The 2-hour launch window opens just after 8:30 this morning. If NASA is not able to safely launch today, the next window is around at noon on Friday. Like I said, exciting times.
Absolutely. All right, the time now 6:32. Let's catch you up on your top local headlines we're following this morning.
Investigators arrested a second person in connection to the death of a 16-year-old in Peach County. The Fort Valley Police Department says Peach County deputies arrested Daquan Williams yesterday for aggravated assault. Investigators arrested Kashawn Williams in this case on the same charge already.
Fort Valley police are still looking for one other man in the case. Last weekend, August 20th, someone shot and killed 16-year-old Justin Woodford from Perry. Police believe the 3 men assaulted Woodford before the shooting happened.
This morning, we know the name of the man who died in a weekend car wreck around I-75 North in Macon. The Bibb County Coroner's Office says the victim is 71-year-old Richard Syme. They say he lost control of his car around the Hartley Bridge Road exit Saturday night, and the car rolled several times.
6:33 in your state news. A 7-year-old girl is dead after a family gathering in Atlanta turned violent over the weekend. Atlanta police say they got called Saturday night about a shooting at the Camden Vantage Apartments. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office identified the victim as Ava Phillips. Police say the child got shot in the head. Early investigation shows the shooting stemmed from a domestic situation that then escalated to gunfire. A federal jury in Atlanta awarded $100 million to a man who fell and broke his neck after a police officer tased him during a chase. Jurors recently found Atlanta officer John Grubbs used unreasonable force against Jerry Blassingame, who was 65 years old and had been panhandling in July of 2018. He was paralyzed from the neck down. Blassingame's lawyer told jurors his client's medical bills total $14 million and his care costs $1 million a year. The city's lawyer asked the judge to find that it and Grubbs are not liable. The judge has not yet ruled on that.
The investigation into whether former President Donald Trump and other allies illegally tried to interfere in the 2020 election in our state continues. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis looks to find out more about the alleged involvement of a Trump ally in the breach of voting equipment in Coffee County. Willis wants to have attorney Sidney Powell testify before the special grand jury. The DA wants to ask Powell about Coffee County, where Trump beat President Joe Biden by nearly 40 percentage points. Emails and other records show that Powell was involved in arranging a team from a data solutions company to travel to the county's election office. Turning to the roads now, gas prices continue to fall in Georgia compared to last week. Some good news, right? AAA says drivers are now paying an average of $3.38 a gallon. That's 4 cents less than a week ago. It's also down over 40 cents from this time last month. There is 2 more weeks left until Georgia's gas tax suspension ends. It runs through September the 12th, and it's saving us about 29 cents per gallon. It's now 6:35. In education news, experts at Georgia College say mammoths used to roam our backyards. Believe it or not, Caitlin, not too long ago.
That is hard to believe. Professor of biology and paleontologist Al Mead says while paleontology is a dying art, it is evolving with modern times. He says thanks to their dig site out in Brunswick, Georgia College has the largest collection of giant bison and mammoth bones in the state. He says they're still discovering more, and watching students help find them makes his job well worth it.
Todd Bennett is Mead's research assistant. He says he couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Academics, and I love it. You really have to look at and understand the past to really understand where we're at now and where we're going in the future. So it's definitely important.
Mead says there's still a lot to discover, between 3,000 to 4,000 fossils left for them to categorize.
That's right, and he invites anyone to come visit the Natural Science Museum at Georgia College to learn more about the state's past.
Well, time is 6:35. With a product with a purpose for some Bibb County students, the letters on t-shirts they're selling are more than just words. The message they're looking to share in Macon and the difference they hope it makes. And it's almost time to put your eyes to the sky as NASA's Artemis I mission is set to launch today. What the unmanned test flight could mean for space travel and reaching the moon yet again. That's all coming up. Of course, that launch all dependent, as just about everything is, on the forecast.
Exactly. Weather plays an incredible role in that, and I mean science plays a huge role, the leading role in that rocket, honestly, Alex.
Yeah, certainly some amazing stuff to watch, and like you were saying, we're watching the radar closely down there because as we take a live look from Jacksonville Beach right now, you can actually see some showers and storms there off in the distance. Of course, this not too far away, and it's not just the weather that matters where the launch happens. It's all across the area and where the rocket's going to travel through. So they're watching the weather out in the Atlantic as well. So certainly an interesting shot here from Jacksonville Beach this morning. Here in central Georgia, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s, 72 in Macon, 72 in Warner Robins, 73 in Dublin, as well as in Wrightsville, and 75 to get the morning started in Sparta. We are quiet here in central Georgia, but like I was talking about, take a look at this down along the coast. So they're down there at the Cape, way down there at the bottom of your screen, but we are seeing some showers and storms from Daytona Beach on up into the ocean, and actually they're right along the Georgia coast. So St. Simon's down towards Brunswick and down near St. Mary's as well. Of course, we'll be watching all of that very carefully this morning. Meanwhile, here in central Georgia, we will also get in on the sea breeze shower and storm action. Watch this now as we head through the afternoon hours. You'll see some showers and storms ride from east to west. That's indicative of the wind coming in off the Atlantic. We will see scattered showers and storms around, mainly on the east side of Interstate 75. But that's not to say we couldn't see one or two on the west side as well as we head through the day today. So here we are at about through the overnight hours there on Tuesday, on into Tuesday afternoon and evening. Take a look at that. Some storms up in metro Atlanta. Could they work their way down here into central Georgia? Potentially, but this model is really dissipating them as a front works its way through. That front is going to bring some cooler air by the time we get to Wednesday, relatively speaking, and then we are right back to it during the afternoon hours, and you can see high temperatures back into the 90s. So the better rain chance comes late week, a 30% chance of rain on Monday, 20% on Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time we get to Thursday, that's up to 40% and 60% for Friday as another front tries to work its way in here as well. Now, of course, we are watching the Florida forecast very closely. Here's what we're looking at hour by hour. The launch windows from 8:33 to 10:33. Yeah, 70s into the 80s, maybe a shower in the area. And we need clear skies for the rocket to go up and out over the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not just in Cape Canaveral where it matters, it's all across the Atlantic Ocean. An 80% chance go for launch. That came from the 45th Weather Squadron from the Space Force here over the past few minutes. Let's get a check of the tropics this morning as well. We've got a few blips on the tropical outlook, but the one that really matters right now is in the central Atlantic. You can see that cluster of storms there. This has an 80% chance of development over the next 5 days. And as this moves into the central Atlantic, a lot of models are developing it into potentially a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane. Watch this now as we get into the beginning part of next week. This is a week out. Monday at about 6 a.m. we could have a storm somewhere north of the Bahamas making a turn in the Atlantic. So we'll be watching that closely to see what happens. The next name on the list is going to be Danielle for this year. That's going to be followed by Earl and Fiona as we get the activity kicked up here during this hurricane season. Today, look for a high temperature right around 88, a 30% chance of showers and storms, some passing clouds. If you don't see those showers and storms, sunrise officially at 7:07 this morning. And even though our high temperatures at 88, our feels like temperatures in the 90s, upper 90s at that for several hours this afternoon, 3 to about 5 p.m., feeling like 97 degrees outside. Our actual high temperatures will be in the 90s beginning tomorrow, with 20% chance of rain for Tuesday and Wednesday. That's up to 40% for the first day of September, 60% for one of the busiest travel days of the year as we get Labor Day weekend started, and for the first part of the Labor Day weekend, decreasing rain chances.
Thank you, Alex. Before we go to break, here's 100 reasons to smile this morning.
Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Woo! And she's singing too. Family and friends made their way to Fort Valley over the weekend to help Mrs. Jessie Mayhill celebrate 100 years of living. Ooh,
There's some good food
look
there,
at that
too.
Food there. Now, Mrs. Hill is originally from Eastman. She moved to Fort Valley with her 2 sisters, who are now her neighbors, Caitlin.
I love that. She's a mother of 4 and grandmother to 12, some of which she helped raise. And one of Hill's sisters isn't too far behind in age. She'll turn 100 in 2 years.
wow.
Hill's family members reflected on what it's like to see Mrs. Jessie reach that 100-year mark.
While we still have them, give them a mic and put it on record and let them tell us younger generation, what it took to get over and achieve what they did to live be that long.
In at 50 and raised me as her own, and she did pretty well.
Yes, definitely make sure you get all the stories you can out of your loved
Yes.
ones. Mrs. Hill says she's happy to live to see her 100th birthday, and of course she loved being surrounded by family as well.
Exactly. We are sending her a huge happy birthday. Shout out to you. By the grace of God, you're still here with us. And don't forget, we want to know who's celebrating 100 birthdays in your life. If that's you, or if it's someone you know who's a Centenarian, send a photo with their name, where they're from, and a little about them.
Text that picture to the number that's right there on your screen. It's 478-752-1309. And you might get a heartfelt 100 shout out right here on 13 WMAZ because you certainly deserve it. 641, we're back with more news and weather up next.